Listen in as 5 friends take turns weaving stories with a tabletop game of their choice. This is 5 Jams in a Trench Coat. Hey everyone, and welcome to 5 Jams in a Trench Coat. My name is Tanner. I'll be your GM for today. We're going to start on my right.
Hey, it's me again. I hope you're doing well. Devon is scared. Anyways.
Dude, the audience is Tanlin's pen pal. Yeah. Pen pals to lovers, question mark, you know? I love that. I love that trope.
And I'm Jesse, and Titus doesn't know what's going on right now. He just knows everything's bad.
That's so real. Hi, I'm Kim, and I play Bee and Frankie. She's there somewhere. Tanner, what the fuck, man?
You know, I actually thought, how can I make everybody really sad today? And so I'm just enacting that plan because I have the memories of all future Tanners. And I was like, okay, what do I need to do?
Past and future Tanners. Good
Yeah.
God. Hi there, I'm Adam. I play Oticelli. A little bit of a rut right now, but it's going to be okay. Also, I had a pen pal in elementary that we had to do through school, and then we met with him, like we went to the school that he was at on a field trip, and he was really mean to me, so that was cool.
That sucks. That would,
Yeah, like, it didn't, like, affect me or anything. Like, it didn't hurt my feelings. He was just kind of sucked. Like, it was like...
that would hurt me. I'd be like, oh, man,
I was just
thought
like,
we were buddies.
Okay, kid. Like...
Yeah. We last left off. You guys were on your way to do a little battle. And then you guys found a ship, and Araceli grabbed a bomb. It was made in a bomb factory because it's a bomb.
Doing this.
That's true, actually. So, Araceli.
That's I.
Alstrana is gone.
Looking, hunting.
Yeah, clouds. In the clouds, right? Like, you guys can't really see her. You see shadows. Maybe you see her peek out every so often, but you don't see what she's doing very much.
Right.
You have this device. It's heavy. Probably at least 80 pounds. Just of stuff. So, what are you doing?
I'm waiting till Raina makes a call.
Okay. Devon and Titus, you're still just circling? Mm-hmm. And B, you're telling everybody?
Yep, I'm just relaying the message.
Okay. Raina gets back before, B does, actually. It's fast. And she just, like, is looking... I mean, she can't talk, but, like, she didn't attack anything. Like, she would have been gone longer, there'd be blood on her hands, and there's not.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. So... Do I have any, like, idea on the range of this thing? Like, from what we've gotten?
Yeah, anecdotal, like, stories, right? And, like, yeah, and stuff written down by Jack. Again, like, you know what I mean? So you probably have a decent idea. Like a city block. For our
Roughly,
frame of reference, yeah. A city block.
All right. They're out of range, correct?
Barely, but yeah. I mean, like, if you blew it up right now, like, there'd be some mild damage to the ships, but nobody'd probably die.
Okay. I'm gonna coast the ship down.
Okay, you want to, like...
A comfy mile.
Okay, you're probably gonna need help to do that. It's, like, piloting the ship is at least a 2-person job. What you could do... I shouldn't be the one...
A small hole in the thing?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Alright, yeah, I'll just hop up and just stab it a couple of times.
You guys are seeing him doing it. Like, you know, like, unless you're trying to hide it.
Thumbs up while I'm stabbing the balloon.
Very confused.
I mean, yeah, and you start descending. Like, the more holes you poke, the fucking more it's gonna fall, right? So you can control your descent, I guess. I mean, but after you start falling, then...
Yeah, so I'm gonna wait till it gets about a mile down. And then I'm going to use one of just my general, like, fire abilities. I'm gonna use a remote flame. I'm gonna hop on Raina, and I'm just gonna pretty much as far away as I can still use my magic. I'm gonna trigger it.
Roll me magic.
Question. Can I try to disarm it from this far? Do I have to be on it to disarm it?
Oh, man. It would be a very difficult roll to disarm it, but from a range, you could do it.
Okay, I'm gonna try to disarm it.
Okay.
6.
So, what I'll say, you feel... Like, I mean, again, you're trying to, like, work through magic. Like,
I'm trying to, like, snuff the magic out inside of
yeah,
me,
so
like,
you can't even see anything, right? It's like
it's just feeling. Right
yeah,
now, yeah,
exactly. So, like, what you feel is that it doesn't. It could be ignited again, but if you dropped it somewhere, it wouldn't blow up. Is what you're feeling right now. Does that make sense? But if somebody went up to it and was like, turn on, it would just turn back on and then be primed again. Does that make sense?
Yes, but so now I have a question then. Since I know that it's done, can I open it up and dismantle it practically?
Yes, you just need to make sure you don't roll bad, because if you could still mess up a bomb, right? Like,
Cool. Would I be using magic to do that?
I'd probably make you roll 2 things, magic and then like lore or something like
My
that.
lore's just okay. I'm gonna fly back up and be like, hey, any of you guys think you can defuse one of those bombs?
What?
It's not gonna take, don't worry.
The crew's silent. What?
Yeah, there's one of those bombs and a struggle. It looks like a dragon tore through the entire ship. I sent Raina to find a dragon, but she came back without nothing, so. But I figure we want to deal with this now. And I already snuffed out the magic inside, but I'm worried that it could still kind of get flicked back on.
I don't know if Devon would even think he's able to do that. Should I, like, roll to...
Yeah, like, what does Devon think? Like, Devon's not an engineer.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy, right? But he's not an engineer. He knows maybe, like, you know, you've seen, like, not vehicles, but, like, you know, mechanical things before. Actually, it's a better question. Would Devon, Jack, it's open knowledge that Jack wrote down some of the schematics, right? Would Devon have sought that information out? Because without that, you'd have to be a genius. Like, you'd have to be very intelligent, and even still, like, you know what I mean? So would Devon have sought that information out himself?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, then, like...
Cool, and I just fly back down.
Okay.
Well, Tyson, well, if you disarmed it, why don't we just take it with us and rearm it when we get to the
We're
bridge?
not going to do that.
I mean, it would be send a bigger message.
Do you want to set one of these off?
I mean, one of you guys can figure it out, right? How hard could it be?
No, I know how to do it. I'm not going to set
Oh.
it off on people.
Well, no, we're just trying to destroy the perch, right?
With people in it?
Hey, man, if people are in it, people are in it. Because we're going to bomb it anyway.
You wish-wash a lot.
Well, we're going to bombard it. That's the whole point of this mission.
Right, but this thing just takes out so much. I read the reports.
Yeah. This is all symbolic, right? If we punch a hole in it.
I kind of look to be.
Devon and B, it's worth noting that, like, you guys remember the last time that, like Arcestell's gotten in fights before. You might remember a couple times, and things are, like, that's a little hot. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, don't make me invoke an aspect, or, like, one of your aspects.
It wasn't in our plan to use them. I don't think we should start going
It
all
was
willy-nilly.
not in our plan to use them, nor did I don't think that we have any of the ships. So I don't think that's a great idea to use it.
Okay, so shall I get rid of it?
If you can.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they intended to use this on us on the way? And would they have known we were coming this way?
I mean, yeah, it is going down still.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth noting.
I'm like on Kai coasting down.
Oh, I flew up. I don't know
Oh,
if you
okay.
guys...
Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
wasn't
he's
sure
up
where
with
you
you
were.
guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and then I would just be like, I don't know either. We still haven't figured out, you know, and she's referencing back to that conversation we had.
Yeah.
She's trying not to say it out loud, because just in case.
Everybody roll me a notice.
Got a 0.
I got a 4.
I got a 2.
Araceli, it's not super pressing, but that ship is, like, it's not, its descent is not linear. You know what I mean? It's exponential, though slow. You get me?
Yep.
So, like, it will
It is
keep
falling.
going faster. Yeah, like, eventually will just straight up fall.
Yeah,
So,
well, what if I trigger it then? So that way, if their plan was for it to go off, they think it did.
Oh, yeah, seems good to me.
I mean, yeah, that is a possibility.
I just send a little, like, flame ball directly at it.
okay, roll me your magic.
7.
Have all of you seen it happen before? I know you have not,
No.
Araceli. Devon,
We were underground.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was being escorted
I was
back
gonna
to
say,
the
I think
ship.
the only fucking person was Jack.
You saw it. Because you were.
Oh, I saw it from far, far away.
Yeah.
I saw
'Cause you were-
the. Yeah, I
You're
was
being escorted out, yeah.
Yeah, I was being carted back.
Yeah.
After having a whole.
Yeah, you
plate.
saw it in the distance, and
Yeah.
this is like still a mile down. It's not. I mean, it's far enough, right? But like for the purposes of yeah, like you do it, and the sound reaches you almost instantly, right? Everybody, like the shapes are all shaken, like your hair's blown back. Like if you look down, it's a huge like fire cloud, like the ship's obliterate. Like there's ash, like nothing's left, right? Like if that, the cloud's clear, like it pushes clouds out of the way, like it's you. I don't think you guys have seen any like. Even if you've seen the bomb blow up, you've never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? Like, it moves the clouds. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird thing to think about.
Yeah,
like,
it's like altering nature.
Like fundamentally.
Drastically.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah. And then like the fire like just kind of goes out. The ship's gone. Like, but there's nothing to burn, so it's just an explosion and that's it, right? Like in the middle of the air. Yeah, and you guys just look. Maybe like Eri kind of looks down for a second, and like. It's almost like everybody's holding their breath. They're just like, Jesus Christ. Like, like, again, I think everybody just takes a second of, like, processing. That could have been us. Like, we could have been, like, that, gone.
How many more of those do they have?
I don't know. From what I know, when we had the mission to Racine, there was an awful lot of them. Jack wrote in his report. Most of them, all of them blew up, from my knowledge, but I don't know how many they have elsewhere.
Jane pipes up. She says, who are they going to use that on?
I just look at Jane and I'm like, sweetie, you have to know.
But think about it. How many did you say there were?
How many did Jack write in his report?
I'll say like 50 or some shit.
Yeah, a lot, right?
Yeah.
Jay says, no. Why would they need 50 if it was just for us? Because look, and like she's like drawing like little circles with her hands. Like, if it was this big and the island is roughly this big, they wouldn't need 50 of them.
Well,
and she's like thinking this through. Like she's kind of now you guys are caught up to her thought process, right?
they don't know about the island. They don't know where we are.
So yeah, Jane like is like chewing on that, right? Like that information. Everybody roll me a what's it called?
Notice?
Or rapport. Either one.
Trey.
Another 2.
5.
I love how tense the table gets every time the bombs are around.
6.
Everybody who rolled above 3, Jane's not like playing with you guys, right? Like she's this is genuine. She's trying to figure this out. She's working through it, right? She's not like lying, right? You're not detecting any deceit, right? But and then she's thinking about it, she says, but 50? 40, 30, why that many? And it's kind of like now it's rhetorical, right? She's just kind of like chewing on that, letting that like air out.
I mean, it's possible they also don't know how large we are or how small we are.
Well, let's go show them.
Yeah, and Jane kind of just swallows. I think like she's
I think Araceli's trying to like bring the rally thing. Like, well, like let's go show them. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Now would be a funny time to posit that we could have like found some cool stuff on that ship, like plans or
I walked
whatever they
through the
had.
ship.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I
There
was
walked
nothing in
through.
there.
It was
It was
destroyed.
like okay.
They got tore the fuck up from the floor the fuck up.
Okay.
Roll me a lore or a dragon riding. I'll give you either.
Ooh, I'll take dragon riding. I'll do 4.
Okay. And yeah, that was for Araceli. Again, like maybe Araceli like is a little on a game today, right? Like a little sharper than usual, I'd say.
He's ready.
How could a dragon? Because there was damage below deck too. And I should clarify, it wasn't the size of a tandem ship. It was like a combat ship, but it wasn't as big. Okay. So how would a dragon fit down there? And maybe like you're starting to think, right? Like if it's a dragon, right? Assuming because it looks like it was. Who's the smallest dragon? Siren at his smallest. Maybe could fit down there. But the wings make it hard, and so do the arms, right? Like Siren's body could have.
Yeah.
So again, maybe you're like thinking, I don't know where your mind goes from there, right?
Devon, that ship wasn't too big, but the bottom was cleared out. Like there was no one hiding downstairs where the bomb was. and but there was a scuffle down there, but it didn't look like people fighting people. There was like claw marks and scratch marks and blood. And what dragon could fit down there? Because Reyna couldn't fit down there, and I think maybe Siren could have fit down there before this. What do you know that could have done that?
Roll me a dragon riding.
That's a 3.
So I mean, like, I think it's not a question maybe you're expecting. Like, this is, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, there are a few different breeds that maybe could have. You didn't get a good look at the ship, so it's hard for you to estimate, right? But a few different breeds come to mind. But some different kinds of wolves. It's like, well, that doesn't really help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks again.
Um,
Awesome.
anyways, you guys keep like moving.
Yeah. I was pondering, what the fuck?
So you guys continue. Do you want to do does anybody have anything to do before you break the cloud barrier around Pecur?
Well, we want someone scouting before
Yeah.
we get there, right?
So, well, the plan was Devon would go and start his thing while somebody scouts, or like Mabel kind of left it up to you. Somebody scout beforehand, or Devon do his thing alongside the scouting, was the theory. You get me?
Yep.
So it's up to you guys how you organize it. Again, Mabel's still leaving it up to you, right? But
All right. Who's doing what? Let's start this.
I guess I could scout.
I guess Reyna and I will hold the line over here.
because it's worth noting, it's clouds. It's dark clouds. Not like stormy, just like, you know, and it's during the day. You guys are doing this during the day, but it's still dark. You know what I mean? Like the clouds are dark, right?
It's like overcast.
Yes, thank you. But Tempest and Titus, are you guys going to go before Devon goes?
I think it would be a good idea just because of the ship bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. So Titus, you want to go for this?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay high up in the clouds though. So and then
At home, right? Like that's what you do.
yeah. And I can make more clouds just if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
So you guys haven't broken through the cloud barrier yet, but Titus, you're going to at least need to weave in and out of clouds in order to actually see things, right? Mm-hmm. Roll me your stealth.
Can I do Tempest stealth? 'Cause I think
Yeah.
her stealth. Okay, yeah. Got a 3.
Okay. Okay, Jesse.
Yeah, I'll put a +2 on that then.
Okay, cool.
So,
Take down
5.
1 point. So now roll me a notice.
0.
Titus, the one thing is that, like, maybe you take off, you're like, oh, wait a minute. I've never been here in my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even, like, I know, I saw the schematics, and maybe I have a map with me, but, like, what? You know, where are, you know, like, you know where you are, but, like, where are things in relation to each other? So you kind of, like, dip in and out of the clouds, staying more careful. Like, it's more important to not be seen right now, right? You don't see any dragon riders, like, as, like, in the clouds around the ships, right? So that's good. And because you're being a little more careful staying in the clouds, it's hard to see into, like, the Pecur, like, the actual, like, area itself. But you do catch what it looks like. Basically, like, you see the buildings, you see the stables, but again, you're kind of dodging in and out of clouds. You don't see anything else, no details. You don't see if there are any dragon riders or anything like that. But you can roll me another notice if you want to keep looking.
So that's a 3.
That's better. Better. So, now that you kind of have your bearings, right? It's probably a little surreal to see so many dragon riders and dragons in the same place, because, you know, or at least like that you're catching maybe like 12 cavaliers, 14 just like flying about, going about their business. It seems, right? Nobody's really leaving, but from what you can tell, it seems the main way that people get around is either by riding dragons, or you're seeing like some contraptions, like glider contraptions that you don't see like very much out in the real world, the rest of the world. Nobody seems to be prepared for like war. Like you maybe even see like what look to be like young dragon riders with like a teacher. You know what I mean? Like going about like that. But that being said, right? Roll me another notice, Jesse.
1.
Roll it again.
Oh, God. Oh,
It's gonna be a 0. Oh, no, that's a -1.
One more time, Jesse.
Oh, this might be something. That's a +2, so 3.
Okay. So, the one thing you notice, I'll say, one detail is, Titus has, like, an innate want for, freedom, you know? Like, that's a pretty core part of your existence thus far as a person, right? Is, like, a sense of freedom, right? As a pirate, or at least of, lawlessness, or, the one thing you pick up on is that, not to be cliche, but this place seems like a well-oiled machine, but you're, like, the instructors, you see them, like, with crops at their sides, and clubs on their other. It seems just a little, like to Titus's, freedom-aligned eye, a little, not totalitarian, strict, like a Catholic school, almost. In like a, not like, I mean, depending on your thoughts of Catholic school, it's not like, this place should, like, be destroyed permanently, but it's a lot of like, this is uncomfortable.
Which Catholic schools are we talking? Are we talking like early America's Catholic schools? Or are we talking like 80s Catholic schools? Are we talking now Catholic schools?
It's 70s, 60s, 70s.
Oof.
So again, it's just like uncomfortable. It's like to Titus, who's never known stuff like this. Students getting punished physically and their dragons getting also like trained physically is maybe uncomfortable to see. And again, you're kind of just catching what you can from like sneaking around, right? Like the clouds. You're also seeing a lot of like marching. You wouldn't have any cultural context, you wouldn't know that. But like a lot of students like training like soldiers, right? That's not how you were trained. You don't know about the others. Actually, roll me a rapport.
4.
So, do B and Devon walk like soldiers, like trained, do you walk like you are, like you have been trained as a soldier?
Yeah, Devon definitely does.
B walks like somebody who's trying to kick the habit.
For sure. So then, and Titus, you are, for all your faults, you're perceptive, at least in that regard, right? Maybe you, like, it kind of clicks like, oh, that's why Devon and B are kind of the way they are. Is because they went through this in theory, you know what I mean? I mean, they haven't talked to you about it as far as you can remember. But you and Araceli certainly aren't like this, you know? Again, it's just a little uncomfortable, I think, for you to watch. But you don't catch any other details about Pecur. But again, like, they don't seem primed for attack, frankly. But whether or not that means they should be attacked, I mean, you're a pirate, right?
Yeah.
So what do? You want to keep looking? You'll need to make more stealth rolls. Or you can go back.
Yeah. I'll make one more stealth roll. So I got 2 this time.
So, you're out of practice, and you like duck out of a cloud, and you kind of misestimate. You don't estimate quite correctly how close the next cloud to get to is, and you think somebody sees you, like one of the students maybe like looks at you and sees you. Maybe you're just a cavalier. You think, okay, maybe he thinks I'm just a cavalier, like, because I look like it, like, from a distance, and we're kind of far away, you know?
Yeah, so I'm just going to play it cool then.
Okay, okay. You duck into the cloud. What do you do?
I'm just going to stay in the cloud for a bit. Just
Okay.
to be safe before emerging again.
Okay. You wait, how long? Minute?
Yeah, I'll wait a minute or 2.
Okay. Roll me a stealth again if you want to get out.
That's pretty good, 5.
Okay. Yeah, now that you know where, like, the cloud is, you can, like, use that as cover. Like, you can start getting back into it. Use it as cover. You slip in and out. Roll me a notice one last time.
The 1.
Yeah. No. Nothing. Like, outside of what you've already seen, there's nothing you quite pick up.
Head back to the ship then.
Okay.
You guys are completely open. You're ready for a surprise attack. There's going to be nothing that comes up.
All right, Devon.
That sounds so cool and not at all suspicious.
Yeah.
I look to Jane and I'm like, you ready?
I think when you say that, Jane... Oh, God. How long have you been fighting, Devon? 30 years, something like that? Jane, like, looks at you, and you see a look in her eye of, like, she's not ready. Like, she's not ready, right? Like, she's intellectually there. You know, she knows what happens next, but she's not there. You know what I mean? Araceli maybe is able to brunt a lot of this stuff because he's a foolhardy kid who thinks he's a hero, right? But Jane's not so brash, you know? There's not as much unearned confidence. She doesn't have that unearned confidence, but you know what I mean? But she just looks at you and she just nods, affirmatively.
Yeah. I think you're just going to put a hand on her shoulder, just like, we're just getting the dragons. Don't worry about it.
She, roll me a rapport, +2, because the way Tanlin looked at me, I was like, hell yeah, Tanlin, you're right, we are just getting the dragons.
Okay, then that's a 3.
Jane just looks at you and nods, just the dragons. Just the dragons. Just the dragons. And you hear her repeating, just the dragons. Just the dragons. She gets on hers. You get on yours?
Yup.
Okay. What's the plan? Out of character. Like, I'm sure you guys would communicate this, but what exactly is... You have to tell me exactly what you do these next minutes. Like, 2 minutes.
The first thing is Devon's going in there and he's getting as many dragons as he can out of their area and away to where he has his ships to do his thing with his men on him. So I figure, like, seeing a cloud of dragons would probably be the go for you guys to start doing your thing.
Yeah, because Araceli has that thing teed up. I imagine once we see you flying away, Araceli will do his thing. That starts, we're defending our fleet. Right?
One thing I do want to point out, just because you'd all know, Cavaliers do wear uniforms, but Devon already kind of dresses, like, similar to one. Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't look... If somebody was like, they'd be like, oh, you're kind of not wearing your uniform. But, like, from a distance, you wouldn't be like, oh, that guy's, like, you know what I mean? And Jane almost certainly brought her gear. So she probably looks enough like a Cavalier, like, she probably has a badge on her. So, if you guys wanted, everybody would kind of know, like, oh, they'll stealth, talk their way through, like, for a little bit, right? But how you handle that's up to you. I'm just letting you know that's information you would have.
Maybe we should both go get the items. Because Raina can just tear through a lot of stuff, so I'm figuring, like, we're just going, to go get the items full force. That could be
easy. I imagine you go, I'll try and slip in.
Also, my move is the defense thing. It's when they start mounting against us is when I'm going to do my thing.
Gotcha.
So, what happens next? Like, what is happening right now?
So right now, Devon is going, right? With Jane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
So. We're all waiting for some kind of confirmation or signal from you.
You'll see dragons. I figure.
So once dragons are, like, starting to swarm, that's the signal?
I figure, because I don't want to start the bombardment while the dragons are still on the ground. Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, everybody's on the same page of, like, all right, we don't shoot any dragons who don't have riders, right?
Yeah.
And we also don't shoot the stables, like...
Are you coming back after you get the dragons off, or are you just leaving with them?
Because Devon, like, trains some people how to handle dragons, and he has a few ships where he's going to corral them.
Uh-huh.
But after you corral them, are you leaving with
us,
them?
Or are you leaving with the dragons?
How about we find out?
That's what you're asking.
Or have you not discussed... Has that not been asked?
That hasn't been asked.
So we'll broach that subject when we cross that bridge when we get there. So, Devon, Jane's following you.
Yeah.
So should you take off?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys are just behind the cloud barrier, maybe like 100 feet, right, from the clouds. So you're pretty sure nobody can see you. The ships know how to do this. They're pirate. All of them are pirates. They know how to do this, right? So Devon, you and Jane are like Jane's like falling kind of right next to you, right, within like earshot. And you break through that cloud barrier. Are you trying to hide, or are you just trying to act casual? Like, what's the feel right now?
I'm thinking casual. Going straight to where I need to go to start getting the dragons in the air as fast as possible.
So maybe you break through the cloud barrier, right? And Jane's right next to you. And it doesn't occur to you until you're halfway to the first stable that, one, it felt like you were coming back from a long ride, right? Like you're like, oh yeah, like like it's kind of eerie. You know what I mean? It's like hard deja vu. Like, oh, you feel like young again mentally, just like that mental, like, oh yeah, like, all right, like back from a mission, like, you know, back from a race, like, time to saddle up Siren, you know, like, and it maybe does feel icky, right? Like gross, like for a lot of reasons, right? Uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So that first hits you about halfway down. You're like, oh, wait a minute, like I'm not here anymore. That's not who I am. But for a second, it's like, and because it looks the same, identical, like outside of some small changes that happen every couple of years, right? Like from a distance, buildings, you're like, I remember like punching my first dude there. You know what I mean? Like getting my first fight there, or like yelling at that. You know what I mean? And I think also you see the stable, and like you're close to it now, and they're all like numbered and marked right for individual. They're painted slightly differently, and you and Siren maybe both recognize like, oh, that's the stable Siren was in. Like I just went there instinct. Like you're like, I just went to the first one I could think of, and like, you know what I mean? Again, it's all automatic. That's the uncomfortable thing, is it's all just like without thinking, right? And Jane just kind of looks at you. You can't, like, I mean, you can maybe see her, but like she just looks at you just to kind of vibe check, like, we good? You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't say he looks uncomfortable, because, like, this was also his home for what, like 19 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe how he looks. It might be kind of hard to read.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of complexity here, right? To like a lot of complex emotions, you know. It's where you met B. That's worth noting too. Like, you definitely met B here. Again, it's a lot of just like, oh man, it's uncomfortable. But the stable looks like it always has. There are a couple of people, non-cavaliers, people without dragons, I'll say, out in the back of the stables, and they're like moving supplies. Like, they're big crates. You could probably guess what's in those crates, like, exactly, if you wanted to go that far mentally. Maybe you're just like, all right, I'm not gonna think about it. Like,
I shouldn't think about it. I might like start thinking about it, like, and then zone in.
Yeah. So, yeah, a couple people outside, but you can. I mean, it's like a big barn, like on the outside. So you can open the doors yourselves, and you could probably get your dragons in there too. But you either have to burst in, sneak in, or talk to these guys. People.
This is just one of the stables, right?
There's roughly 7 around the whole area.
Give me a second.
You're good, man. You're good. I will say, you don't see, like, the stables aren't always busy. Like, you know, there are always dragons in there, obviously, but people aren't going back and forth constantly, you know? Because Cavaliers are still, like, an elite unit, and you're only an elite unit for a country, but a country circa, like, 1500s Europe.
Yeah.
That means you're, like, you know, you're not huge. So, like, there are a good amount of Cavaliers, maybe 1,000 total, but, like, people have assignments. People have shit to do, like, you know? Nonetheless, Devon.
So, like, Jane and I were talking about, like, how they run things, like, currently. Do I know, like, how the dragons are, like, held? Are they, like, caged up, locked up, or are they just...
You checked. They're... Inside of the stable themselves, it has a roof, but it has, like, a big opening at the front, like, on the top, out towards the roof to get people out, or to get dragons out if they want to fly out, right? Also huge barn doors, right? To let dragons out if they want to walk. Inside, this is a pretty large building, maybe like a half a standard warehouse, but you could clear that distance easy, like on your Siren. Siren's fast. Well, was fast. And they're not all caged, but they're all tied usually, like via their harness or something usually. Sometimes, for rowdier dragons, they might be caged or put in a larger cage. But most of them are well trained enough to, you know, not freak out. Does that make sense? Most of them are tied or like just they're trained to stay there. Some of them feel like they have habitats built so they feel safe there, you know?
Because at the baseline, they're animals. I'm trying to think about how... Because I know I wanted to bait them.
Yep.
And
you guys have it in your bags. It's packed in your bags.
I think... Gosh. Confusion and panic is always a good way to go. So, like, I don't know if I want to... This is just me thinking out loud. I don't know if I want to bust in there and just start getting them to want to get out of the barn and then go from there to bait them, like, out, you know? I think... Because Devon's been casual so far. I think he's just going to get in there and just start, like, undoing what the... like, just opening things and making things happen, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so you land, and the 2 people who are, like, hanging out, don't pay any mind as you open the barn doors.
I figure if I look like I have a purpose, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you open the barn doors and things have changed. You're not sure why, because you can't imagine, like, in Devon's mind, he's like, this can't be the case everywhere. A lot of the dragons, like, used to use ropes and stuff. There are chains, and hard collars around some of the dragons. It's again a little now. It's not uncomfortable because it's familiar, but because it's hard to see. You know what I mean? Some of the dragons, not all of them, and there are less dragons in this one. Just worth noting, that's the first things you pick up. But otherwise, you're like, I fed Siren there. Again, memories still passing through your mind.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Middle of the Episode. Our first ad, yes, first, comes from our friends over on Taeves Tall Tales.
Greetings, adventurers. Come, witness Taeves Tall Tales live on Twitch every second Thursday at 8:30 p.m. AEST. Join our intrepid crew as they navigate a world of myth and magic, of battles, and dungeons, and indeed even dragons. For our heroes, united by a dream of dark shadows and endless slaughter, have banded together to avert the coming catastrophe. Their journey has taken them from the frozen wasteland of Carrick Outpost to the very heart of Talman's Eye, the city of merchants where anything and everything is available for the right price, of course. Come, join us for adventure and intrigue, as well as a healthy dash of 3 chaotic players messing with their DM, just for giggles. Hurry along now, adventurer. We're waiting for you.
Be sure to check out Taeves Tall Tales. Sparrow is a good friend of the pod, and Chaos is definitely the name of their game. We'll have their links in our episode description, so be sure to check them out. Our next ad comes from our friends over on the Tabletop Talespinners Network.
Welcome to the Tabletop Talespinners Network,
What has the most potential for drama?
That seems rather irresponsible.
where systems give birth to stories.
Do you want the memory of a one-night stand with a hot bartender?
Cat hates it, but I'm glad you're excited. Representation matters.
I feel like that is some untapped potential.
I'm sure you'll change the world.
I'm always looking for the truth.
And who sits at the head of the table matters just as much as who sits around it.
Do you actually understand Bird?
My name is Emma, and I will be your DM today and every day that this wonderful campaign exists.
I am your MC, Mistress Winter.
Instead of a parking lot, it's a portal between realms.
That's where my jam is.
Abomination, your end has come.
Looking for your new favorite TTRPG actual play podcast? There's always a seat at our table wherever you find your podcasts.
If you like 5 GMs in a trench coat and you're looking for another really great TTRPG actual play podcast, I highly recommend you check them out. They're a good time and have fantastic casts, so be sure to check out their campaigns. Alrighty, friends. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Fuck, okay, so we're in there.
Yep. Jane is muttering something. I think she's going over things you already know, because she's like, oh, to unlock the systems, to unlock the locks, we do this, and the keys are over there, and again, it's things you're buddy, I've known, I was here before you were born,
I think we're just gonna get to it.
All right, so you start opening cages?
Yeah, just start doing it. I just want to get them all out, get them rallied out of the barn.
Okay.
As best as possible, because I know animals, I know dragons. I could figure it out, right?
I think they're trained dragons too. These aren't
Yeah,
the
they're
ones
trained
that we
dragons.
got previously.
Roll me 6 dragon riding skills.
Good lord. First one was an 8, second one was a 5, third was a 7,
Okay.
and then 6, 6, 5.
Okay. Very solid. Not solid numbers, man. Yeah, I think you're opening cages and it feels a little wrong because, first lesson, don't touch other people's dragons unless they're there. Second lesson, don't open, the dragon cages without help. Jane doesn't really count. Yeah, don't open multiple dragons at a time. You're going through every rule you're breaking as you're breaking them. Because it's all ingrained, right? It's part of why you're so good at running the roost is because you try all this when you're young. And you start dealing with dragons and trying to calm them down. So the ones in chains tend to be more automatically like just upset. You're not sure if that's because they're in chains or because that's why they're chained up, right? But no matter what, you're keeping them calm, and it's kind of getting loud. They're like all making sounds at each other now. You know, like it's kind of a sense of like what's happening, like amongst the dragons. Like, what's happening? This is unfamiliar. You're not the person I know. Like, you don't come here often. I have never seen you before. Stuff like that.
But my aura is kind.
And and you get to the last cage. Jane is kind of helping like keep them at bay with her dragon. Like, they're doing work, right? Like shepherds and a shepherd's dog. But like, again, it's all tense. Like,
yeah.
And maybe it's going through mine 6 more times. Like, you have to do 6 more times. But you get to this cage, and it's built to look like a rock, like it's a large cage, and it's built to look like a cave, rather. You know what I mean? Probably a habitat thing. Again, your mind's running through what it is, but it's it's hard locked. And then it clicks, and you're like, oh. And you think like maybe there's a dragon back in the day, like a long time ago, older than anybody there, old dragon, like not like Osasrena, not Osasrena's breed, but that same sort of, they don't really die unless they're killed. Like, they just seem to get old, right? Like, they just grow and get old and stuff like that, right? And you're like, is he still in here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because he'd be, like, Devon, he'd be older than you are, right? And so, and it's dark in there, right? And he was kept in here because nobody could take him, you know what I mean? Like, he gets moved out. When he gets exercised, 6 cavaliers are on him and like trying to make sure that he doesn't freak out, leave. It's kind of like we don't see a lot of him, like this kind. We need to research this dragon just to know what's up if we ever encounter them. Like, he's the only specimen we got. Like, what would you guys have called him back in the day? What would your teachers have called him back in the day? Bull? We'll call him Bull then, okay? Yeah. We'll call him Bull. So Bull, you're like, is Bull still in here? And then maybe you just see, like you look in, and then just a bit of fire, like, comes out of his nose, and you recognize his eyes. That's Bull. Yeah, and, like, but you can't see him. It's dark in there. It's how he likes it.
I'm dark. Tall, dark, and handsome.
Bro, open the cage.
I'm scared.
Don't be, dude. You're that guy. You're literally the dragon guy, dude.
Dude, I am the dragon guy.
You're not a war guy. You're a dragon guy.
I want to use Dragon Whisper.
Okay. How does that work?
It's a +2 to calm dragons if I use a fate point. Can I, like, just flavor it to have it help me?
Yeah. Make it a +3, though.
Slay! Forever or just now?
Forever.
Okay. Forever?
I mean,
forever.
I don't know how long.
Until you're dead.
Yeah, like.
That's forever.
That's for you. That's true.
Go
for it, buddy.
Yeah, man. It's a 7.
Okay, so you open the cage. How do you get Bull to come out? Here's the thing. You were too young. Like it was a job for older dudes who would like, the experienced men and women who had years of training for this sort of stuff. You are around their age now, but you certainly weren't when you were training. Like,
Devon's gonna. Devon's been around that baby dragon for a little while. I think he might treat it like the baby dragon, like how he would, like, oh, I'm the big guy. I'm bigger than you. Let's listen. Mm-hmm. I'm here for you, kind of thing. Like a parental. That's what I mean.
So, yeah. So what do you say? Like, what would Jane, if Jane looks at you right now, what would she see happen?
I think he might have like the biggest smile. Like, he might be like really excited about this. Like, this is cool. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, buddy, as he opens the thing, and then just kind of like make himself big.
Yeah. What does Siren do? Siren and Bull have never. I mean, they've been in the same location. I don't think they've ever met.
Ooh, I don't know what Siren would do. Because he's a bitch right now, actually.
That's terrible for right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's going through puberty. Fuck. I don't know.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Actually, roll me Siren, if he has it, roll me his provoke.
That's a 4.
So yeah, Siren is doing a thing where he's trying to be like, I gotta be big now. Like, I gotta be big. And then, like...
Can I use that to my advantage? Because with wolves, this is stupid. With wolves, there's like this thing that they do where like there's like two interacting and one is being mean and one isn't. And there's the one in the middle. It'll snap at the one that's being mean and then be nice to the one that's not being mean.
Yeah.
And
Good
it like
cop, bad cop?
And
it encourages proper socialization behaviors.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Okay. I'll give you +2, so you got a 9 now. I like that idea a lot. So, what do you do to Siren? Like to
like a
shut that, knock that shit off.
A lot of clicker.
Yeah. So Siren like maybe like sinks back like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, oh wait,
We're
what?
dead.
Yeah. And then like his cave is hollow. Bull's cage is 12 feet by 12 feet. The cage, the gate itself. It's the rest of it is bigger. And you open it and you back up because Bull needs room. You know that. Yeah. And Jane looks over and she's like, wait, Devon. And then but she knows like, oh wait, I can't say anything right now. This is the last, right? And Bull like stalks out and you see his head first. Devon knows all this, right? But he looks older. I mean, you know. He has the head of a like Tyrannosaurus, but with like horns like going out everywhere, just like all over the back of his head. Like there's a shape to them, but like to most dragons only have a couple horns max. He is maybe even a little bigger than Oscar's right now. Like Oscar is big, but just his head alone is bigger than hers, right? He steps out. His claws are massive and long, and like you see like some dead skin falling off dead scales. Again, he's an old man, and he like is a little hunched over. But then he like as he steps out, he spreads out more. He has like dull gray scales with some like pink underneath. His wings are huge, tattered, and his tail like goes out and ends in a spike. Like a sharp, like stab you and you're dead spike, and you know he breathes fire, like
a 6-foot spike, like it's like big as shit.
He's probably about 10 feet tall, like just standing.
Oh,
and so he's the biggest dragon here by far, right? Like, and he has another set, like above his actual wings, is another set that help him like maneuver around, like four wings total, right? Big wings for power and then little wings for like maneuvering. And he has a little like horn coming out his snout, like off his snout, like a chameleon. Like, and he just looks at you and his eyes are old. One of them's scratched and like he's blinded and you know that. But Bull is just looking at you. He's not making a sound anymore. He's just looking at you. And it's like it's that same look Ossus Rain has. It's like, oh, you're like smart. Like it feels a little like I'm looking, even if Ossus Rain is maybe not that smart, like we don't know, right? Yeah. But still, like, looking at a human, you're like, oh, this is uncomfortable.
Very
like,
aware.
Yeah, you're like, oh, and Bull has that same look in his eye that maybe the other dragons don't as much, at least, you know? I think all of the dragons stop. Like, everything stops when Bull comes out, and he's looking at you, and everybody's looking at him. He's looking at you, everybody's looking at him.
I want to remind you that Reyna max is 8 feet tall. Like from 4s to, like, top. Yeah. He's much taller than her already.
He's, a couple feet taller easily. Like, yeah, he could, like, I mean, Devon, roll me a lore.
Okay. This is 7 for lore.
He, once snapped a guy in half. like, just, like, you saw, like, in the, like, he, like, somebody, like, some asshole was, like, just being a dick and was like, I got this, guys, and, like, was using some light techniques. Bull likes to be treated well, like, calmly. He was, like, poking and, like, trying to, like, he literally just, like, grabbed him and snapped him in half.
Oh! I thought he
bit him in half!
No.
Fuck. You displeased
and,
me.
like, and when that happened, like, everybody, like, just, like, okay, Bull, it's okay, like, calm down. Like, they weren't freaking out. They were like, it's okay, Bull, you're fine.
We're okay.
Next.
We're okay.
Yeah, right?
Who is his rider?
Huh?
Who is his rider? Does he know?
There's none. Nobody.
Never?
He's a researcher. Like, it's right. Just research.
Jesus.
Used as like kind of an example of like, hey, you gotta be some
dragons are different.
Yeah, like literally built different.
Yeah.
But yeah. So again, maybe another memory just passing through. Like, oh my god, like, you know.
Devon is brimming. He is so excited right now. Like this is so cool. Like Araceli when he's doing cool shit, how he looks, that's how Devon looks right now. Just like, alright, this is so fucking cool. This is so fucking cool.
That's what you're meant for.
So Bull's like looking at you, and then he like stands up fully, and it's almost like a proud lion like standing up and just looking out at his like herd, and then he's inside, so it's not really, but he just looks at everybody, and he's not making any sounds. He's silent, and then he looks at you, and then looks towards the door at the far end, which you guys had closed, and Jane kind of follows his gaze, and suddenly the door opens, and one of the people from outside looks like and says, wait, hold on, what's, and then sees Bull out, and he knows there are just two people here. It's like, what do you, and then he like stops, and he's like, and looking at you for some kind of info, like, you know what I mean? Because he's scared shitless right now.
Like,
Nobody's ever ridden Bull in their lives. Like, it's never happened. I'm just like, I'm letting you know, like, this is the sort of dragon we're dealing with. That's all. I'm giving you stakes, not like telling what you can or can't do.
Listen, Devon would love to, but also there's like 7 more things he needs to get a hold of.
Use Bull.
Anyways, no.
Bull.
But what do you do?
Oh, okay.
Bull is looking at this person now.
I'm just gonna tell the guy, I think you should get out of his way.
You see, like some fire just like plume out of Bull's nose, and he starts walking that way, like without your prompting. He starts, and dragons clear out. Like they're like, no. Jane also clears out, and she's kind of like back against a wall, like, oh my god, like she's like horrified right now. And Bull just keeps walking out, and the guy just like creeps back, and then you hear him run out like the side, like probably hop on a glider or something and leave. Not sure if that other person's outside. And then as Bull's walking out, he like is looking around, and another memory passes. Bull's fire isn't like Asas Reina's, where it's like a cone or plume. It's like a beam almost. Like his is extremely concentrated, but it's still fire, right? Like it's still fire. It behaves the same way, but it's a concentrated. It has a longer range than Asas Reina's, but it doesn't do as much damage up close. Does that make sense? Just again, pet memories passing through.
Yeah, because Devon's thought process is dragons like to do what they want to do. If the door is open and he can leave, he can leave. And so he could go do his own fucking thing. I'm here for the ones that can't handle their own.
Devon's gone crazy, you guys.
You know what I mean? Like I'm under the assumption he's been stuck in there.
You're right. I'm just worried he's gonna see me and Reina.
Oh, true.
But I don't know if that would even pass Devon's mind.
So Devon, Bull is heading towards the exit. Everybody, the dragons have like cleared his path. Like some of them go back into their cages rather than
I'm gonna turn to Jane and be like, all right, they're all out, right?
She doesn't look at you. She's watching Bull and she just nods at
Just, hey, let's move on. Yeah. So
she hasn't said a word since.
Yeah, obviously. I just want to move on to the next.
Okay.
Like, so, what did I want to do? I want to the dragons that will listen to me, more likely.
Yeah.
I'd bait those ones and have them start following, I suppose.
Right. So you get some bait out from Siren. Roll me another Dragon Rider skill.
Does Devon get any bonuses because they all watched Bull defer to Devon?
Yeah, I'll give you a +1 because Adam's a smart guy.
Is that a +1?
Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah. That's a 3.
So, I mean, you get their attention for sure. Maybe it's like that's like you're confident that subtle doubt is like, oh, wait a minute, I just almost died. Like I could have gotten eaten just now. Like, you know what I mean? And Bull hasn't left. Like he's not on your schedule right now unless you want to get him on it.
I don't need him on my schedule.
So he's blocking the entrance is what I'm saying.
Oh, that's the only way out?
You can open the other side. You can open the side where, because Bull's cage was at the end, right? Mm-hmm. You can open the doors on that side, but you wouldn't have any. It's like how do you describe it? That side, the dragons fly in. The other side, they take off. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it'd be harder to get all the dragons out because there's less land to walk off of. You get me? But you could try it. Again, Bull's like kind of taking his sweet ass time.
His fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what? Because it's starting to feel like, when you're taking a test that's timed and you get to a question that's taking too long.
Uh-huh.
And so you skip it.
That way.
So I'm just gonna let these dragons be loose in this barn and move on to the next one and circle back if Bull is gone, then I can do what I need to do.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you just you and Siren.
And
Jane.
Janae, yeah.
Okay. And Jane,
unless,
right?
Unless she thinks it's better.
She wants to be gone as soon as possible. Like,
period.
For her own self-preservation's sake.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, so yeah, you open the barn doors, and it's a view that you've seen 1,000 times of the rest of Pecur, like the tall, like, tower and stuff like that. Again, maybe, like, you just try, all right, I need to forget, not think about it. You guys hop off. So you go to the next one?
Yeah, next one, same routine, bro.
Okay. There's no Storm of Dragons yet. It doesn't seem like Bull's left.
Okay, I'll just keep a lookout for that.
Okay.
Once Bull takes off, I'll probably circle back to that particular barn.
Roll me a stealth.
It's a 4.
Okay. That's solid. You're about halfway to the other barn. Nobody sees you guys. Like, nobody's, like, coming up and approaching you again. It looks you're blending in fairly well. And then Bull roars. And you've heard Ossus Reina roar. It's pretty comparable. Like it's loud. And you guys hear it, too. Like, because you're not that far away. Maybe Ossus Reina, like, perks up, like...
Yeah, just like,
Yeah, like, wait a minute. But you're like, that's not Ossus Reina. Like, that's not the same. It registers to everybody, like, that's a big dragon. What did Devon do,
Devon became a dragon.
And maybe Devon, you turn around, and Bull is, like, taking flight, and his wingspan's probably, like, what, 40 feet? So, it's a huge... And, like, he takes off, and he's surprisingly fast for an old man. Like, and a big old man. He's fast. He just, like... takes off like immediately. Like you see him and he doesn't seem to go in a specific direction. He's just like flying like around, kind of maybe getting his bearings. And maybe you hear from around the like the other stables, you hear muffled roars like inside. The other dragons start spilling out from behind Bull. Now that he's cleared the room, they're all trying to get out. They're all leaving. They're all like going in opposite directions. They're trying to get away from him. And you could try and get their attention. But Bull is like doing something. Maybe he's trying to display like, I'm the alpha. Like
this is his territory.
Yeah, this is like mine. But like it's hard to say right now because he's not doing anything yet. That being said, that's caught the attention of a lot of cavaliers who are like, wait. Where are the people who handle Bull? Like there should be people right there, 6 of them. Like that sort of thing. No alarms have been raised, but it's that thing where like alarms are gonna be raised. You know what I mean? You guys don't see this. Devon and Jane are the only that do, though you do hear a dragon go off. Devon, what's your plan right now?
Yeah, I gotta... The next few barns have to be as quick as possible to get all the dragons up and at them.
I will say that not only is Bull out, again, you have to remind you, but all the other dragons from the barn, that first barn, are leaving as well. So they might just go their own way. Like, Bull doesn't seem to be trying to lead right now. So they're not like, yes, I need to follow him. They're like, I need to get away so I don't die. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I can work with that.
All right, cool. So you go to the next one, and you guys, like, it's quiet after that first roar, and then you just see a single, like, smaller dragon kind of on its own just fly away, and like fly like over you guys and away. Is that the signal? Is it not? Devon hasn't said anything. You heard a roar. Like,
I do think it's odd that there's only one dragon.
And it's not getting on the ship.
And it's not getting on the ship, and it's just going away.
You don't see Devon and Jane.
Yeah, and also we see that previously denoted by a giant-ass roar. So, like, then it's like, what is going on?
We hold.
Yeah.
Okay. Devon, just give me 3 dragon raider checks. You're at the next barn.
A 5, a 5, and a 6.
Okay. Yeah, so you open more cages. Jane is freaked out still, but she's doing her job so far. Yeah, now that, like, you have a barn, now you have the barn mostly under control. Like, they're still, like, making noise and stuff like that, but there was nobody here, luckily. So, like, what do you do now? You have a barn of dragons that you can try and interact with.
I'm gonna try and see if I can flock these guys.
Okay.
So the barns, are they all like, they're in like one location, right?
They're spread out about a half circle around, so that you got like a mile of distance like cover.
Yeah. Okay. Would Devon, think if he flocked these dragons, the ones from the other one, join in? Are we close enough like that, or no?
They would see, yes, but it'd be a little rough to try and corral them because you're a few hundred feet away now.
I'll just circle back to that last part. Whatever. I'm just gonna do what I can with these ones, and move on to the next.
I mean, it is worth noting those dragons just leave, instinctually. The first dragons.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure you know. As long as you understand that, you're good. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to see if I can bait these ones, get them up in the air in a flock.
Roll me your dragon riding +2.
That's a 6.
Great. So yeah, you get a bunch of them gathered, and all of them gathered, and they're paying attention to you. They're watching you in Siren. What does it look like when you try and get their attention?
I think it's a lot of whistling and hand movements, sort of.
Yeah.
Like soldier shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you get them gathered. You leave and the barn, and jump out. They're following you, and Jane is kind of at your side, but also kind of circling around, at their edges, just all right, everybody's staying in this rough shape. And then you see Cavaliers going towards Bull, and Bull is still flying just around, right? And you guys hear another loud roar, not as loud as the first one, but a loud roar. All of you do, and you see him roar at them, and they kind of stop and stand back, and then it's quiet for a moment, and then Bull opens his mouth and just flames, right? Long, beam. Yeah, 50-foot, 60-foot flames just erupt from his mouth and go off. Not at them, just into the air, right? It feels like you're maybe it's just me, but I feel a little hot now, warm, you know?
Do I feel it? Do I feel the heat and the energy, the
intense
magic?
Heat, yeah.
Honestly, being summoned.
Right? And he just in their general direction, not at them, right? But showing off, and they're kind of backing off.
Yeah, I think B and Titus see me getting antsy,
and they're and it's starting they're starting to get 7 or 8. He needs, if they're gonna take him right now, they need more than just the usual 6.
I'm gonna let that shit sing over there because that keeps those Cavaliers distracted from what the fuck I'm doing. I gotta move on. I'll circle back.
So what are you doing now?
We have
Are you dropping the dragons off is my question, or are you continuing to the stables?
No, we're keeping the dragons with us. If I have a flock around me, it's easier to flock the rest.
Okay, I hear you. So I need you to do now, roll me a stealth.
That's a -1.
Okay. So, you guys get out, and there's no, sneaking around with this group, right? It's just a matter of, how loud are they? How much attention do they get? And you kind of turn, and you see Bull off to the side. But over there, you see some dragon riders kind of flying towards Bull, and then they, point, in your direction. They're far. You can't hear what they're saying. They point at you and, look at each other and are talking. And Jane looks at you and then looks at them. And then looks at you, what do we do? They start flying towards you. And that's where we're going to end this episode of 5 Gems in a Trench Coat. Thank you everybody so much for listening. We'll be back next week with a new episode. Let's plug our stuff.
If you like what we're doing here, you can follow us on 5 Gems in a Trench Coat, or at 5 Gems in a Trench Coat on Instagram, and then at 5 Gems Official, and TikTok, and at 5 Gems Official on Twitter and Blue Sky. We're also on Threads now. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Threads now. What else?
You can also join our Discord, hang out with us, and you can also check out our website, 5gemsundertrenchcoat.com.
If you like the team here, almost all of us go ahead and work on Adavance Armory, so you can go ahead over there and see some homebrew 5e stuff, ADAVANS at Adavance Armory on everything, and then Tanlin.
Yeah, I do a lot of the art for Adavance and this lovely podcast. Gremlin Frog Art, there's 2 G's in the middle there. Yeah.
Fantastic, Tanner.
I do a webcomic. It's called Wisteria Falls. You can find us at Wisteria_Falls on Instagram or you can just search Wisteria Falls on Webtoon.
Amazing. And we also have a Ko-Fi. If you really like what's going on here and you like what we're doing, you can go ahead and support us in either getting energy drinks or our fund that is going towards new audio equipment.
Yeah. You can find that at ko-fi.com/5gemsinatrenchcoat.
Yeah, and if you really, really, really like us, you can subscribe, you can leave stars, you can leave whatever you want, all those things. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hello. Thank you for listening to 5 GMs in a Trench Coat. Be sure to follow us on social media at 5GMs in a Trenchcoat on Instagram and TikTok, and at 5GMs Official on Twitter. You can also join our Discord. You can find out how to join on our accounts or on our website, 5gmsinatrenchcoat.com. If you liked the episode, please rate us 5 stars and leave a little comment. And if you'd like to support us further, you can leave us a little tip on our Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/5gmsinatrenchcoat. Thanks, and catch you in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Beep boop.